VGK's Stanley Cup celebration continues in Las Vegas through the weekend with the parade on tap on Saturday. And Mark Stone says the bender can last a while as players get a chance to take the cup with them on personal journeys.
You're Locked On Golden Knights, your daily podcast on the Vegas Golden Knights, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Hi again, everyone. Tony Cardasco, Chris Golick from Las Vegas, where we've got the Usher, the Bruno Mars, the Adele, and the Stanley Cup residencies right here in our city. Thanks for making us your first. You didn't know where I was going with that. Thanks for making us your first listen.
After you got out of 50 Cent, I knew where you were going.
Yeah, I got off of 50 Cent pretty fast because the way that he cranked the siren was very, very weak. But he did bring home the Stanley Cup. So that's cool. You could find us on YouTube, Locked On Golden Knights. Please subscribe there. At Tony Dasco, at TD Chris G, at Locked On VGK on Twitter. And we are brought to you by the Gametime app. Download the Gametime app today, create an account, use the code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off of your first purchase. So, Chris, a hungover Mark Stone appeared on the Pat McAfee show on Wednesday. As captain, he was able to bring the cup home with him after Tuesday and the clinching win. And he said that he and his teammates drank everything out of the cup, everything that they possibly could out of the cup at Omnia. And that was part of the club celebration, that little segment of this lengthy celebration that's going to be happening and continues to happen here. That was on Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. And Stone said that he and his teammates made a jungle juice concoction. And they drank everything that they possibly could out of the cup. Yeah, it does not sound good. No. And they said that they'll continue to drink up until the parade on Saturday, which is great. And now, after this, they've got 100 days where it's coordinated travel for the Stanley Cup. It is broken down geographically. It'll go all over the world to hometowns, etc. And each and every player gets the cup for 1 day, and it's parties and more drinking and possibly more baby pictures in the cup. I don't know.
Team is so screwed next year. They best case scenario, what, 6th place in the Pacific?
Yeah.
I mean, listen, this is what happens, guys. This is not out of the ordinary. And, this also makes you got to appreciate what Vegas has done, first of all, not just the fact that they did win the cup yesterday evening or 2 nights ago now. I win the show too, whatever, it doesn't matter. Point being is that 4 conference final trips in 6 seasons, like the way this team was constructed to go on this type of long-term run is remarkable. So and I hope not, I'm ready for another late season and, covering this team late into June and stuff like that. And just like this, like we're doing right now. If there's a fall off, I mean, it makes sense, right? There's going to be a short off season versus we had a nice long off season the year before. So that's probably the first thing you look at, healing time for the players. Although really these guys, I think Zach Whitecloud suffered an arm injury, if I'm not mistaken, at the end of this game.
Someone said that I think I heard he might have broken his wrist.
That's what I thought I saw circulating. I haven't heard. I honestly laid pretty low today. Well, yesterday, however you want. It depends on your perspective when we're recording this right now. But
this on Wednesday night.
I laid low on Wednesday. I didn't do a whole lot on Twitter. I was trying to play nice with people, and I'm not saying I completely behaved. But point being is it's going to be a short off season filled with drinking anything and everything out of a Stanley Cup.
That's fine.
Wouldn't be surprised if we had a slow start next year.
Well, these are young guys, and you have to understand that they're going to.
They're not that young.
Well, but I mean,
compared to me and you, sure, we're a couple of old fogies, but they're still pretty old. They just
played over 100 games together, and they have a camaraderie now, obviously.
Yeah.
And great team unity.
Yes.
And with all the work and dedication, blow off some steam. I think it's great.
Oh, no doubt. 100. Yeah, go crazy. Whatever happens next year, I don't care.
one of the things I did not appreciate was a lot of these. Now, I've pretty much ignored everything from fans outside of here. It's kind of funny, the banter back and forth and what have you. However, I did take it sort of personally because I thought that Las Vegas fans partied responsibly, celebrated responsibly.
Stupid.
And there was this video right after, oh, look at the Vegas celebration after winning the cup. And there's no one there, in the plaza. There's no one there on the streets there near Park MGM. Folks, this is our city. And that's why I asked you too, remember, about how many people in attendance at T-Mobile Arena for that final game are locals. You said 80, 85% perhaps.
90, 95. It was a lot higher.
95%,
yeah.
plus all the people outside. This is our city, and we really, I can't say that word. We really do care a lot about our city.
I'm trying to think what word you were going to say. I think I know what you were going to say.
It was going to be bad.
Yeah, we're going to move forward. No, and I'm with you on that. Like other cities have had some very notable celebrations. They've also had some very notable riots. I mean, Vancouver, when they lost the cup in Game 7, oddly enough, against Boston, that was a very unsafe place to be for. I mean, some pockets of Vancouver aren't that great to begin with, but there was some very terrible, noteworthy stories, and you've seen, what happens, especially in LA. Whenever LA wins something, I'm not knocking LA. It just seems whenever any Los Angeles team, Southern California team wins something, you're waiting for the crazy stories and stuff. And I mean, Philadelphia, you got people swinging off light poles and stuff and all that. Like, it's cool to have.
We didn't have
fun.
To grease down the light post here.
No, I mean, I walked out. So I wasn't out there much. I think they figured, was it Campbell, I think, or who was it? One of the VGK media guys. I forgot his name. I'm drawing a blank. But he said he was out there like right when that video was taken. It was like 11 o'clock or something like that. So we're talking 3 hours after the game ended, for one. Number two, they were shooing people away from the arena. So I did the hit for Locked On NHL, and I found that bridge, actually, that escalator that takes you above by New York, going in the garage there. But I was trying to find a spot like in front of the stage in Toshiba Plaza, and security like, no, you got to go. I'm like, oh, okay. Like, so they wouldn't let you congregate there. But once you got in front of Beer House and all that, it was cool. People were dancing. People were having fun. Everyone was giving my kid high fives, and every Stanley Cup that they had, every inflatable Stanley Cup they handed to my kid, and he held it up in the air, and we celebrated, and people went into the clubs. They went into the casinos. Like, they partied. They did it responsibly. And the fact that we didn't tear apart our city, like, I'm sorry, but
maybe it changes. Maybe
WTF. Can I say it like that? WTF off? Is that close?
Right. Exactly. That was close to what I was going to say.
Am I walking the ledge? Okay, good.
Yeah. You did walk the ledge there. And I just thought that the fans, again, didn't want to do anything to destructive, I should say. And the parade could have
pride in our city. We have pride.
We have so much pride
other
here.
People don't.
Absolutely.
Sorry, other people don't.
Right. And a parade, though, you combine our locals now with a few 100,000 spectators and tourists, and you just don't know. Like, if they're out there, they've been drinking.
Bigger than New Year's Eve, I think, possibly, Tony.
Really? And what's the over-under on?
I don't know. What is over-under? A $250,000, right? Is that usually what it is for around there? I don't know if it's a $250,000 outside, but that's probably
they're going to count all the tourists.
Travel.
Yeah. They'll count the tourists.
So my point is, I mean, is there a chance that a 250,000 Southern Las Vegas locals decide to go check this thing out?
Oh, absolutely. Everyone's going.
My concern, and I'm really hoping to see something. I've been watching my emails today. I have not seen an email about anything for the season ticket holders. I really do believe, and maybe this will start a little debate, folks, and I'll be happy to have that discussion. But
where do you want to be at the rally? Where should
I
you
think
be?
the season ticket holders should have a spot at the rally, personally.
Okay, and that's in front of
Toshiba or something inside T-Mobile. I don't know. I mean, if they're going to be in Toshiba, why not open T-Mobile and do the rally inside, where you can get 18,000 people plus standing room on the floor?
All right. What in the world is up with the music selections of this team? So they're in the locker room.
They were playing all the songs after the game, too. It was bizarre.
After the game, they're spraying each other with champagne, singing Toto's, Toe the Line, or Hold the Line. What is that? Whatever that song is. And
You're
then
a music expert. I don't know.
Okay. And then we saw the club video of Aoki karaoke
Oh,
with
that was
Aiden
good.
Hill.
That was great.
Lose yourself. Where did that come from? This is a very talented team on and off the ice, but they're having some fun. But their musical selections kind of surprise you, right?
Where are they right now, do you think? I mean, I'm sure they're doing the same exact thing somewhere on the strip. You got to think, don't you?
Big
I don't think they're
dinners and
slowing
having
down.
fun. Yeah, no, because they said they're going to continue to drink up until the parade at least, and through the parade.
Oh, God, I remember some funny. God, I remember Patrick
So
Kane in one of the parades in Chicago. Dude was pounding whatever he could drink like at 8 a.m, and he was like he didn't go to sleep the night before. And there's been some remarkable speeches. Corey Crawford, folks, look up if you got a minute. Go on YouTube, look up Corey Crawford victory speeches with the Blackhawks. He's got one that like became a T-shirt with the quote. It was amazing. I'll find it. I'll link it to Locked On while Tony talks right now.
Okay, no, I just wanted to make sure too that we kind of set a little bit of a timeline. So on Saturday, the parade,
Yeah.
clearing out locker rooms when? Monday, perhaps?
Yeah, maybe. I
Then
really
they get
hope I
out of
can get
here.
into that. I
A
really
lot of
hope
the
I can get
guys.
into that.
Okay. So again, we do have the parade. It took a while to come together, and I can't understand why. Why was this so difficult to plan? Perhaps it was F1 and the construction and all the road work. I get that. Denver, after the Nuggets won the championship, right after the game, they said our parade is coming up on Thursday. That was on Monday night. And here in Vegas, people waiting around all day Wednesday. And I didn't think that that was cool. But again, Saturday, 7 o'clock p.m., which is kind of unique and different.
I think that's cool. I
It'll
think it's
go
cool.
from Flamingo Road. Both sides of the strip will be shut down. And then it comes down Flamingo Road, goes to Tropicana, makes an illegal U-turn. No, that'll be okay. And then it comes back up, and then it goes down towards Toshiba Plaza, where at 9 o'clock, they will have a rally there. But I agree with you. I think season ticket holders, about how many season ticket holders are there? Do you know? Do you have any idea?
12, 13 maybe?
1,000.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
But
They
the
should
thing
do
is, and my
something else
point
to
is,
support them.
you
Yeah,
can't fit like barely. I think they said there was what 10,000 people outside. Like I don't know what the counts were,
is that
but
all? You can't fit a
you
ton of
can't
people
fit it.
out there.
No, you can't. So like you want to be fair because listen, there's a lot of people that they don't have the opportunity to go to the game's schedule. The amount of money it costs to go to these games. I mean, it was astronomical, especially at the Stanley Cup final. But people deserve, like, there needs to be the proper mix. You need to be able to invite the locals to a party. Everyone who watches the game at their local bar, everyone who watches at home with their family, and they want to be a part of this. Like, everyone deserves to be a part of this. It's not fair to say, okay, Toshiba Plaza, only season ticket holders can go to this rally. That's not fair either. And I'm not suggesting that's going to happen, but it's equally not fair for the season ticket holders to say, okay, you got to go camp out 6 hours early and find your spot. And, hopefully, you can have a fun time. Like, I mean, the season ticket holders, we have invested into this team, many of us for the last 6 years. So we do deserve our chance to party here. I mean, that's why, like, I don't know what's going on this weekend, but, Allegiance. I mean, I don't know, they have anything going on this weekend? I have no idea, but why not do it down there?
Soccer,
Why not?
soccer. No, it's a big soccer.
Okay, fair enough. So that wouldn't work. But
and they don't get along anyway. Let's just
no, that's
okay?
fair too. But why
I
not?
don't think
You
the
have all
Raiders
these,
and the
you have
Golden
these
Knights
festival
get
grounds.
along.
There's festival grounds where you can put 30, 40,000 people around this town.
Okay, that's a good thing. I think that the great participation parade of 2018 was much better planned than this one
It
here.
had a lot more concrete to work with.
Coming up next, when did we believe that VGK was going to win the Cup? We'll get into that when we return right here on Locked On Golden Knights. Buying tickets to your favorite events should not be stressful. Gametime is the fast and easy way to buy tickets for all the sports, music, comedy, and theater near you. They've got killer deals, last-minute tickets, and their best price guarantee. And you can stop stressing over the tickets and start getting hyped for the fun that you will have. Again, just browse through the Gametime app, and you could check out a lot of the upcoming events. You could find the flash deals, last-minute tickets, easy way to find and buy tickets for every kind of event in your area. And you also see images of your seats, lowest price guarantee, event cancellation protection, job loss protection even. Gametime is the place to be for last-minute deals. And the game time guarantee, that means that you will always get the best price if you find the tickets in the same section and row for less. Game time will credit you 110% of your payment. So that's really a good thing. Snag your tickets today. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem with the code LOCKEDONNHL for $20 off. Download Game Time today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. Welcome back to Locked On Golden Knights. Tony Cardasco, Chris Golick from Las Vegas. It's been kind of quiet here the last 59 days with the playoffs. Just kind of quiet, just hanging in there. Again, don't forget, we've got What the Friday coming up on Friday, and we appreciate you making us your first listen each and every day. Please go to the YouTube channel and subscribe there. What do we have? Over 1,000. Congratulations, Chris, for running that, first of all, and to all of you for subscribing there on our YouTube channel. Thanks so much.
I guess while we got a second, like yesterday's show, right, was just so much to, regurgitate with what happened. But just a real big thank you, everybody. I mean, we see all these notes from people like giving messages of how we're somehow lifting their days, or telling us they're amazing, or people telling us they're listening from this part of the globe, close and far, and everything in between. And I felt bad. I had a gentleman. So this was really kind of bizarre. Really quickly here, I was doing the hit with Locked On today after the Cup when I was on the bridge by New York, and this weird guy like, well, what's the capital of Carson City? Dude is wasted beyond belief. And I just kind of shut him off.
Was it Mark Stone?
And no, it wasn't. It definitely could have been a Golden Knight. And then a very nice gentleman, hey, I love the show. And he like taps me on the shoulder while I'm recording. I'm like, hey, thanks. I didn't shoo him off, but I was very quick with him. So I felt bad. And I don't know your name, but if you're watching today's show, whoever that nice gentleman was on the bridge, going to the New York garage, I'm so sorry I couldn't, at least, acknowledge you a little bit better. It was such a strange moment with me holding my phone in selfie mode, doing a video, watching my son Chris over my shoulder, and having some drunkie ask me what the capital of, like, guys like, well, what's the capital of Nevada? And I look at him like, Carson City, go away. And
we needed like about 70, 80,000 of that person.
But he looked at his hand. He like looks at his elbow. He points like, you're right. And he walks away. I'm like, WTF. See what I did there?
Time, yeah, very good.
Oh, no, it was that time. Believe me, it was that time.
So when did you start to believe that VGK had a legitimate chance to win the Stanley Cup?
There's two good moments. And this is why I posed this to you when we were talking earlier, but there's two precise moments for me. I would call it the Buffalo game with Jack Eichel and the hat trick. I would also throw in the Boston game when the Golden Knights defeated the Bruins on the road, and it was like their first, whatever the defeat was, that start that Boston had. But it wasn't that they won those games. It was the fact that the way this team turned it on. Eichel just manhandled the Sabres, but the team rallied around him to help support him to do that. The team was going to do their best not to allow Cassidy to lose in his return game. Wish we had that same fire when DeBoer came back the first time, but whatever. But at that moment, you just saw this team. It wasn't just second gear, it wasn't just third gear, it wasn't just fourth gear. They had that Stanley Cup gear that it takes to win some of the most important games. And you look how that translated. 4-1 Winnipeg, 4 straight wins. Edmonton, 4-2. But you look at the closeout game, they crushed them. Was it 5-2 or something like that? Dallas, they let Dallas crawl back after falling down, after going up 3-0. And then they say, okay, we're going to kick your butt and we're going to beat you 6-1. And then coming out of 6-0, pardon me. And then they come out of the gate with Florida, 5-2, 7-2, a couple close games in Florida, home ice advantage, tilted that a little bit, credit Florida. Oh, and then by the way, 9-3, game, set, match, Cup, Vegas. That right there goes back to the wins in Boston and Buffalo. That's when they shifted into whatever gear, wherever, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, blah, blah, blah. And then the Stanley Cup gear is way over here somewhere, and they found that. You like that? This is what you get on YouTube, guys. You get graphics.
I like that. For me, I think I've got a few milestones. I think, hanging on to win the division, I thought that was important, because if they lost the division, playoffs shake out differently, right?
Of course.
They would have played the Kings, right? If they had lost the division, to Edmonton on the final day of the season. So that's pretty incredible that they hung on there. And then when Boston lost in the playoffs, I thought that was a major threat for VGK. Okay, if they get out of this, if they get out of the conference, then perhaps they would play a Boston, but Boston's gone. So that was another milestone that I saw. And then the one thing that I do remember, though, to me, the biggest turning point of this season was right after the All-Star break.
Of course.
And if you get a chance to talk to Cassidy or the assistant coaches, no, not the assistant coaches.
Stop.
Okay, I know that was bad. But if you get a chance to talk to Cassidy, I'm just curious what he told the team before the All-Star break, and that they needed to come back and do so many things and work on whatever, and what the approach was right after the All-Star break. Because I said that they were limping in, and somebody blasted me, of course, on Twitter like usual. The team was 29, 18-4, but they lost like 8 of 10. They lost 6 of 8 in regulation. And then the date to mark down and to circle was February the 7th when they returned, when they got back, and they go on a 5-game winning streak, I think it was.
While losing Logan Thompson.
Right. This is just such an incredible season, right? When you think back and you start to, holy smokes, that really happened. 22-4-5 the rest of the way. And there was something, Jack Eichel, I thought, came back and it was like, whoa, things finally kicked in for Eichel to where he's playing better defensively. He's playing better offensively. He's taken a leadership role on. I just thought that things started to really gel after that. And to me, Chris, that was truly the turning point for me in this season, was when they kicked it into another gear right after the All-Star break, I thought.
So Jack Eichel, 22 points, 26 playoff games. 22 divided by 26. All the way around. 26 divided by 22. So 1.18. 8 times 82. So he was on a 96.76 points pace. This is playoff games, okay? These are games that are supposedly tired defensively, less ice, less room to navigate. If the Golden Knights can keep, first of all, if Barbashev can re-sign here, he might have to give us a little bit of a deal. He might be one. I don't know. I'm not going to speak for him. I have no clue. But if VGK finds a way to keep that line one, they need to. That's priority one. Priority one. Goalies, no disrespect, Aiden Hill, they're out there. Logan Thompson, whatever. That's another episode for another time. But you're going to tell me that Jack Eichel was on a 96-point clip against the toughest of the tough competition. You're going to tell me he can't exceed 1.18 points per game in the regular season?
We thought he'd be over 90, right?
We thought he would. I'll take the over all day at like 93.5. I mean, there's injuries and stuff that could play in. So obviously, but I will take him to equal 1.18 points per game in the regular season next year. I'll say it like that.
Did you see how banged up again for Florida? They just were worn down.
They're warriors. They're warriors. They are warriors on that team. We talked
about the battle of attrition, and they were losing it really bad. And we knew going into that final game that they were just depleted. Matthew Tkachuk, game 4 with a broken sternum. Just to hear Paul Maurice talk about it.
He played with it. It's crazy.
And how he couldn't tie his own skates, and he was even trying to fight. The guy's an absolute warrior. Aaron Ekblad broke a foot, tore an oblique, had a shoulder popped, backed in twice there in this series. Radko Gudas, a high ankle sprain, and they were just banged up. And we could see, and again, I've got to, you can't take anything away from Florida, but
Did the Ekblad injury happen during the series?
Yes.
So, and good. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying, like, VGK literally not only took the will away from the Panthers, but physically, which is the craziest thing, because if you asked me in January, and you did, I'm like, this team is way too soft. What I keep saying, there's a finesse team. There's no way they could win the cup. There's no way they could win the cup with these goalies. There's no way. And everything just turned and obviously fit in pretty well by the end of the season.
The physicality, I mean, and this is what a veteran roster can do. They know that you can't just win playing one certain way. It's like they're starting with Cassidy. It's almost like a chameleon type of approach, right? Things aren't going well, so you do a tougher forecheck. Okay, things aren't going well, you muddy up the neutral zone. You find the weaknesses. I mean, you look at a lot, and I think Cassidy and Belichick are friends, at least acquaintances, if I'm not mistaken.
They're good friends, I think. Yeah.
Okay, and I think I've heard that before. So, what does Belichick do? He takes away the best weapon or weapons from the other team and says, okay, your other guys are going to have to beat us now. And he's made a living doing that for a very, very long time. And Cassidy does have a similar ability in, masking what the team is doing more or less defensively, and then letting the offense find different ways to succeed. Obviously, you give a lot of credit to McCrimmon in the depth and everything, but once that clock starts ticking above T-Mobile Ice, that's when it's Cassidy's job to win a game, and he throws a lot of different ideas and strategies out there. And like you said, Tony, this was not a physical team. I mean, they had their moments, then they could hang. You think about the Montreal game when Pietrangelo got crushed and all the players defended him and everything, and that happened in a number of other spots as well. The team show they can do it, but if we're going to talk about for a long time an identity-less team, we did a full episode.
There was no
about
identity. Well, we were talking about it repeatedly, and you kept saying there's no identity to this team. What's the identity?
Now we are a tough, physical, defensive team to play against
because of Cassidy, because of his adjustments in game, and then just his coaching ability, and to do something to get these players to play a more physical style, to forecheck again. Barbashev, and I wish Bluger, we could see a little bit more Bluger. But I think
he's gone. He's gone.
Yeah, he's going to be gone, unfortunately. But again, they had that same
great insurance policy, though. Great insurance policy if something would have happened.
Yeah. Oh, without a doubt.
And he was helpful down the stretch.
I do want to shout out Al Powers, the photographer, who had that phenomenal shot at the end of the game that you're seeing everywhere, all over the internet. And it was for ESPN, and Al's a good friend, and he took that photo from up top there at T-Mobile Arena at the end of the game, and the players had a formation. The formation looked like a heart, and the only person that was looking up was Marchessault. And I asked Al today, I said, how did you get that shot? Like, that's amazing. And he goes, just prayed that it would come out. Something good would happen, because he had the camera up high, and he shot down, and it was just unbelievable.
Where was he for that?
I don't know if he was on the catwalk, or I don't know if he had.
It was right above the bench, wasn't it?
No, this was in the end zone. This was the end zone shot. After the game, they went to the end zone. Everyone congregated.
Okay,
it looks as though it's in the shape of a heart, the way that they were
I know what you're talking about.
Except for Logan Thompson, a little bit out there on the left side. Make it a little tighter, bro. And then you have Marchessault looking up at the camera. So it might have been one of those automatic cameras from up top that you could set up and just click. I don't know. We'll have to ask him, though. But I was very
cool
impressed
to learn about that. Definitely. I mean, it's just those are the things you don't explain.
That's one of the images, though, that I remember. That's one of the images I will remember about this Stanley Cup. Right?
Yeah, I mean, that's awesome. Good on him. He was probably somehow in the auxiliary area, if I had to guess, because that's where they set everyone up in the back of the 100 section, the mezz and all that. There was like two different levels of media.
But he's shooting straight down. So maybe is there a catwalk up there?
I mean, regular media can't go up there unless he just.
Well, no, he was shooting for like ESPN. He shoots for MGM.
So if he's doing stuff like that, he might have been up there. Then.
He shoots for the house as well. So again, that was pretty cool.
That's awesome. Good on him. Congrats.
Yeah, he's at Powers Imagery on Twitter if you want to see that shot. Coming up next, the Pacific Division was supposed to be the weakest in the NHL. It turned out to be a pretty tough division there. We'll talk about that. We continue right here on Locked On Golden Knights. We are brought to you today by Bird Dogs. Bird Dogs makes you look good, and you could go to birddogs.com/LockedOnNHL and enter the code LockedOnNHL for a free Yeti-style tumbler with each and every order. They've got these stretch khaki pants, shorts designed to make you fit. They fit a lot slimmer through the thigh, through the leg, giving a truly sculpted look. Bird Dog shorts do the same thing as a Lululemon fit, but they are definitely a better fit, you'd have to believe. The fit is also better than regular shorts that are made of a stiff restricting sort of cotton, and you need to try them out. And you might be seeing Chris wearing his at the parade on Saturday.
I wore them today.
So comfortable. We need more, right? And you can go again, check out Bird Dogs. It's really cool. Just go to birddogs.com/LockedOnNHL, enter the promo code LockedOnNHL for a free Yeti style cooler that you see right there. There you go. I got the logo into today. That was good. Oh, almost knocking stuff over here. Again, go to birddogs.com/LockedOnNHL. You'll get the free Yeti style cooler with your order. Again, birddogs.com/LockedOnNHL. Welcome back to Locked On Golden Knights. Tony Cardasco and Chris Golick from Las Vegas. We appreciate you making us your first listen each and every day. Make sure you go to the YouTube channel and subscribe, Locked On Golden Knights. And of course, coming up on Friday, that's tomorrow's edition, WTF with the Friday. There's going to be some great comments, and we'll ask folks to leave those on Twitter about the season. They'll take some shots at me as well. So, Chris, this past season, early in the season, we talked about the Pacific Division, and it appeared as though it was a very weak division coming into the campaign, but it turned out to be very strong. And do we have a new rivalry with the Edmonton Oilers brewing now after the playoffs? I think that could be a lot of fun within the division. And there's going to be teams making a lot of improvements. One of those teams is Anaheim, which will have the number 2 pick in the draft. And it looks as though they're going to get Adam Fantilli. And Adam Fantilli, is a center. And they have a number of picks, 9 picks in the upcoming draft. But the division overall, it played out pretty well towards the end of the season. A lot of folks didn't think it was very strong. And then, of course, VGK comes out of the Pacific and wins the Cup. So what does that say about the division?
Well, the Pacific was the only division that had 4 100 or greater point teams, so we can start the bidding at that right there. But just a quick team by team look. I mean, Vegas is going to be tough next year. We don't need to dive too deep into that. Edmonton, talking about the chip on the shoulder and all that, they got questions in goaltending and defense, but they still got that McDavid and Draisaitl dude. They still going to have a pretty good power play. We're going to hear a lot from Edmonton. It's always going to be a tough out no matter what happens. LA Kings, I thought they were close. I thought they actually had the ability to knock off the Edmonton Oilers. Obviously, it didn't play out like that, but LA is going to be a team that should be, they're getting older, but I think Kopitar is up for a contract. I don't see him not re-signing there or retiring.
They need a healthy Kevin Fiala, right?
Yeah, Kevin Fiala. They just got to find the right mix for goalies. They got 2 decent goalies. We'll see how that plays out, but LA is going to be tough. Seattle, huge shout out for what they accomplished. I mean, they were a heartbeat away from, going against Vegas for the Stanley Cup final, to make it. So, I mean, they're not going to get any worse. Definitely. They're building on a different path than the VGK, but, they might have a stronger, season 3 than the VGK. Who knows? But Seattle's going to be tough. Flames, you got to think we're going to hear a lot more from them. They're kind of in disarray right now, but they got a lot of talent. They're not going to be an easy out. Vancouver, San Jose, and Anaheim. Let's start with Anaheim improving. Trevor Zegras, Mason McTavish, Jamie Drysdale, and then obviously the person you mentioned they're probably going to draft.
Yeah,
goaltending issues. I mean, we'll see if they can get it worked out, but they have an incredible young crop of players. Vancouver Canucks, they just can't get over the hump, but they keep getting all these good players, and they did make a big trade at the deadline, shipping some players east, getting Brock Nelson and stuff like that. So Vancouver, they're not going to be an easy out. The Sharks, I'm still tired of that writer from the beat writer from the Sharks, Josh Fitzpatrick, who his latest hot take, I hate giving this clown credit, but was it worth it, VGK, for the 10 years of missed playoffs once this team is all done? How many teams in the NHL would trade places with Vegas for the last 6 years? And my second comeback to that, now we're going off the rails officially in segment 3, is what team wouldn't trade a few years of being in the dumpster for that Stanley Cup? I know the Sharks would be, because they haven't won one yet. And a lot of teams would. And what does it friggin' matter? If you win a Stanley Cup, who cares after that? Who cares what happens? So that's my little rant that was unscheduled, but I saw the Sharks and I saw red and I got mad, and How come the Sharks never tweeted their undying support for the Panthers either in the Stanley Cup final?
That kind of died very fast. VGK
They learned
along
better.
the way to winning the cup, they knocked off 5 100-point players. Unbelievable.
Oh.
Yeah, so 5 of them, and it was quite a run. I do want to make a correction from yesterday's show as well.
Correction.
Yeah, why not? The editor says, okay, so Marchessault, as a condition of picking Riley Smith, came to the Golden Knights. I just wanted to make sure.
Okay.
The other way around. And so
you're correcting me. Got it.
Was that you? Okay, that's good.
I don't know.
And so,
I probably said it one way, one show, and the other way, the other show.
It's all good. And so they wanted to keep a defenseman by the name of Alex Petrovic, who is out of the NHL entirely.
I said that part. Yep.
And VGK has 2 players still left standing, and that includes the Conn Smythe Award winner, Jonathan Marchessault, joining the likes of Jake Gunsel and Steve Yzerman.
Oh, I got a better one for you. I got a better one for you.
3 goals in the first 3 games of the Stanley Cup final. Go ahead.
Okay.
Can you top this?
I can top that. You got something else really fast or no?
No. I'm talking in your voice.
There are
now.
2 players that won the Conn Smythe that were not drafted. Jonathan Marchessault is one. The other one?
Wayne Gretzky.
Bingo.
Yeah, I watched a lot of TNT.
Yeah,
they probably mentioned that about 30 times. Yeah,
I just saw it. I mean, unfortunately, I didn't get a lot of TV last night, but I saw that just going through Twitter before we logged on. That's remarkable. That's remarkable. Another conversation maybe we can talk about a debate that someone put out on Twitter in that series, the Panthers VGK series, outside of Jonathan Quick and possibly Phil Kessel. Was there a surefire Hall of Famer playing in that Stanley Cup final? We don't got to dig into this now, but maybe that's something we can talk about.
Yeah, Jack Eichel.
Surefire Hall of Famer.
We can talk about that again. Yeah, because I can't think offhand. But we thank everyone for tuning in, especially our everydayers. Is that Jungle Juice you're drinking? Jungle Juice. Is this high school? Or are we listening to Toto songs again? We thank everyone, especially
That's your high school,
everyday...
Tony. My high school was grunge and Nirvana, so
we thank you for tuning in. The everydayers in total support of our show. We appreciate all of you. And coming up on Friday's show, it is What the Friday. Go to the YouTube channel, subscribe, Locked On Golden Knights. For my man, Chris Golick, I'm Tony Cardasco. We'll see you tomorrow right here for WTF, What the Friday. And that's all ahead tomorrow right here on Locked On Golden Knights.